At Ephesians 6:16, faith or trust in Jehovah is compared to a shield which you can extinguish all the wicked one's burning arrows or all of Satan's spiritual attacks. For example, when we hear lies about Jehovah, his organization, and those he's appointed to take the lead, we will not be shaken. We won't give up or give out. We know the prophecy at Matthew 24:45 has been fulfilled. Jehovah has lovingly provided a slave that's faithful and discreet. We recognize that Jehovah provides spiritual food and direction through this body of men at the right time. We're not left floundering or trying to find our way. Therefore, we remain obedient and responsive to the direction we receive. We never dismiss it, even if it doesn't appear practical from a human standpoint. Trusting Jehovah includes trusting his representatives. The life-saving direction we receive from Jehovah's organization may not appear practical from a human standpoint, but we recognize the fulfillment of the prophecy at Matthew 24:45 about the faithful and discreet slave, and we're ready to obey any instruction they provide. Yes, getting ready includes building trust and being convinced that Jehovah will deliver us from the wicked one. Trusting him will help us understand the prophetic role of the faithful and discreet slave during this time of the end, when Jehovah is using them to provide life-saving direction. This direction is helping us to stay ready. Jehovah sustained us in the past, and he sustains us now.
It's really quite chilling, isn't it, at this point? Troy Snyder there really doubling down on this message of being obedient to the governing body at any cost. It's not just about being obedient to God. It's not just about following Bible direction. It's specifically about being obedient to the governing body in any direction that they give. And what Troy Snyder is very obviously doing right from the get-go is using repetition, which is a tried and trusted means of manipulation. If you just keep repeating the same thing over and over again, there's a better chance that it's going to lodge in people's minds. He did the same thing towards the beginning of his talk when he kept talking about you see these things happening with regards to prophecies being fulfilled.
You see these things happening. You see these things happening. You see these things happening. You see these things happening.
He's doing the same thing now when it comes to repeating this message of obeying the governing body, even if their direction doesn't make sense from a human standpoint.
Even if it doesn't appear practical from a human standpoint. May not appear practical from a human standpoint.
Which is itself a repetition of direction that was given all the way back in 2013, so before JW Broadcasting. And I remember at the time that this Watchtower article came out, it was the Watchtower of November 15th, 2013. I remember at the time, writing blog articles about it. It was very chilling, disturbing rhetoric. And it really begged the question, is there any limit whatsoever when it comes to how obedient Jehovah's Witnesses should be? So what it said in the article was, at that time, meaning the time of the end, essentially, the life-saving direction that we receive from Jehovah's organization may not appear practical from a human standpoint. All of us must be ready to obey any instructions we may receive, whether these appear sound from a strategic or human standpoint. Well, that's just a blank check, isn't it? For just ultimate power over a group of people. If you're telling them there is never an excuse for you to say no, there is never an excuse for you to question the decisions that we make or the instructions that we give you, because you're looking at things from a human standpoint. We have God's standpoint. And it's very troubling to see Troy Snyder, 10 years on the 10-year anniversary of JW Broadcasting, doubling down on this deeply disturbing cultish rhetoric.